Okay. Well, welcome. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Hey.
Hello.
You know the drill. Somebody kick us off with a recap.
I don't think we need
frog
a
killing.
recap of the we just killed
So many
a
frogs.
bunch of frogs last time and got
That's fair. You killed some frogs. You got the moss.
and we got the moss. Yeah, that was the
We killed an alligator too. Vauna was like one turn away from croaking.
yeah. I almost fucking
Pun intended.
oh, that was a good pun.
And another piece of treasure you found was 2 like doses of this balm, like 2 little containers
yeah.
of balm.
And my dank ass orbiting stone staff.
Yeah, that is pretty
Yeah,
key. Staff of adornment. That's your thing.
Mm-hmm.
More like staff of a dorkment. Am I right?
Got
True
him.
that.
Who got that
Yeah,
cloak?
the bag of tricks, and
Oh yeah.
the cloak of many fashions.
Your girl Ayumi got that cloak of 1,000 cloaks.
You know, the items is like the like cloak of useful items or whatever, where it's like it has like all these patches over it. That's a genius one though. It's just like a cloak that has all these patches all over, and every patch just turns into another cloak. It's like what are so many fucking cloaks? Okay, you guys also remember you found like some jewelry and shit that was like around the crocodile that the bullywugs had been like attaching to it.
Oh yeah.
All of that is worth 40 gold pieces.
Wait, so I just want to know. So I have some of the balm. How much is it? Says that, like, how many uses would I get out of one of these? I have 2 balm containers.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you get 2 uses out of each container.
Okay.
Oh cool.
It also says
Ready?
I have two vials of something. I don't know what that is about. But...
Those vials and also the vials that you found, Chadius, are vials of acid.
Oh, fuck yeah. With intent to distribute?
Just straight acid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really feel comfortable carrying these around.
Yeah, so you guys, slaughtered the innocent frogs. Congratulations. Big tough guys.
They were animals and we slaughtered them like animals.
They were little D-bags. They fucking started shit with us right away, and
no, they were obviously pretty big.
They fired the first shot, and they had to
They
go.
drove first blood.
And they had
They
killed
had to
that
go.
traveler, whoever that guy was.
Yeah. The previous
What
owner of the cloak.
Yeah. As you guys like travel, out of that valley and back toward the road to head back to Harlow with the moss, the rain sort of lets up, and as you kind of reach the bridge where you had originally turned off and where you are, meeting back up at the road, you can see off in the distance, there's maybe like a 1,000-yard or 2,000-yard like stretch of land given between the road and the shore, and sort of to the east toward the shoreline and a little bit further north, you can see like up this hill and sitting on top of this cliff that like looks out at the water, you can see this like sort of like large but like dilapidated building up on the side of the cliff. Just as a bit of scenery for you guys that may or may not be relevant later. Also, as you guys kind of turn away from that and you're in a hurry to get back to Harlow, the sun is starting to go down. We're back to kind of an evening. You guys have spent basically the whole day traveling out of the valley, and there's nobody on the roads for quite some time here. You've been walking for a couple of hours, and just as you can see Harlow kind of rise up in the distance, there's like a lone person in the middle of the road ahead of you, and he's quite a distance away, and his posture is very strange. Like he's like standing there like almost like a marionette or something. His elbows are out, and his head is kind of crooked. He's just standing still in the middle of the road.
A person or a humanoid?
Do you want to go find out?
Yeah, I will.
Roll
I'm
initiative.
very confident. Hello, traveler.
If one thing has been discovered, it's that it goes well when Chadius wants to be diplomatic.
Oh, yeah.
Chadius, you saunter up, and so yeah, you get close enough. You can see it's a man. He's maybe like in his 60s, clean shaven, and he's like absolutely covered in wounds.
Yeah.
He's like, and he's standing in like a small pool of blood, and he's just standing in the middle of the road, like bleeding, and he's like staring straight through you, and he doesn't like really respond to you at all.
I'm going to leave you there, sir. You make you having a very bad day.
Good day.
Fine. Go back to the group and I tell them what I saw.
Okay, yeah, he just sits there continuing to stare into the group.
Vanna is like says that she expresses that she's not surprised by it. Like she's like, oh, it's just an old person that they're getting rid of. Because in Goliath culture, you get rid of your old people when they're no longer useful.
Hell yeah.
So I just think that's what's going on here.
We're in a rush, and I don't want to spend time figuring out what's going on with this dude, and I kind of just want to take him with us. Just like throw him over our shoulder and keep going.
But why?
Like I don't know how grave his injuries are at the moment, but I mean he's still standing upright.
We're already in the middle of helping out like for free.
I know. That's why I don't want to.
Yeah, so we might as well do another guy, you know.
So I'm just going to say it's probably a bad sign for Ayumi when her morality is swaying to where Chadius's apathy is. Are you feeling okay?
I just don't want a kid to die because we stopped to try to take care of this person who I don't even know how hot they are.
See. He's 60 and the other kid's a kid. I see how it is. This is ageism now.
Well,
all right.
Ayumi, as you get a bit closer, you see that this man is like staring straight past everybody and right into your eyes.
Oh, cool.
And
I'm gonna like do the quick like side to side, make sure his eyes are following me, like.
Yeah. Okay. As you do that, his like head does. He's not like perfectly like a statue. His head like kind of follows you a little bit, and as you're doing that, he says, "No time for games, child." And then he is in this kind of strange posture. He like holds his hands up, and you see that his like wrists are bound in like red rope that like goes up and like falls off his arms a little bit.
Curiouser.
And he says, "Do you not recognize the visage of your god?"
Oh.
Yo, Amy, you know this guy?
Sorry, I'm just a little bit stunned. Doing that, I mean, before I do anything, I mean, I have to have some sort of, I can't just immediately accept. I'm going to use Divine Sense here. Let's use some Divine Sense here. I haven't used it today.
Okay.
I'm not going to be fooled.
Wait, so what is the name of your god again?
Ilmater.
Ilmater. I could think of Mater, but I couldn't think of what came before. And I'm like, his name isn't Mater.
Don't know his name. You don't know what he looks like.
Yeah.
Some paladin.
He is definitely injured, and he definitely keeps his hands tied up, but I'm still using Divine Sense to make sure it's him. I'm still using it.
Sure. Yeah. You don't sense any, fiends, undead, demons.
But do I sense a celestial? Because that's also on my list.
He's not a celestial either.
All right, he's just some dude. All right. I'm gonna ask him what he's doing here. Why is he here? Why are you here?
I come for your oath, child. Use the dagger when the time comes, and the oath will be sworn.
We're about to kill this kid, huh?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I think we have to kill Ayumi.
I don't think we have to kill
Ayumi is definitely killing someone.
Or
It will
we're
not
killing
be.
him.
Ayumi, it was nice knowing you, but sorry,
Well,
we're gonna have to kill you.
It's, I guess, on the bright side, you get your oath at level 3, so level 3 might be coming up. Might also be about to kill a kid. I mean, I imagine he said what he needs to say to me. I don't feel like questioning or trying to drag information out of him.
Vauna asks you who this is.
Him, they seem to be a representation of my god.
She like very much stares at you. It's just like
I'm as surprised by this as you are. This hasn't happened to me before.
As he's standing there, he's just like, like bleeding from these open wounds and stuff. He just says, he sort of looks at you again and he says, "Time is short, child. The beast waits."
Well, he says time's short. Let's get going. I'm going to sort of bow.
Excuse me. This strange man bleeding in front of us claims to be your god, does some weird shit, and we're just walking away from this?
What am I gonna do? I mean,
I'm gonna go see if I can get the dude to acknowledge me. Now I'm curious. You have me intrigued, sir.
It's a god. I mean,
so you're just like so you either literally believe that it's your god, in which case you're walking away from this
I've been given a mission,
person and I have questions.
or it's a crazy person and like you want to like figure something out with your temple or whatever. I don't know.
Do we like non-divine people sense anything with this guy? Like, does he have like an otherworldly presence, or he's just a regular ass bloody dude?
Yeah, he seems pretty regular and bloody.
I don't feel like it's just a regular bloody dude standing in the middle of the road, waiting for when I get back to tell me to use a knife. Like, I don't know. Seems pretty divine to me.
I'm gonna see if
Pretty
he'll notice
divine.
me. I'm gonna go see if he'll say something to me. Maybe I want a prophecy. So I go up and I try to take his staff. Just pretend
What
to
did you
poke
try
him
to
in the
do?
eyes.
You're trying to poke him in the eyes?
No, I pretend to. I do a bunch of different things. I do this. I try to take his stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah, as you like get that close to him, you one of your like the toes of one of your boots sort of like steps into this like growing like pool of blood under him. And he doesn't like flinch at all. You're like waving your hands and stuff and he doesn't flinch at all.
Yeah, I guess I don't have anything else to do with this guy.
I mean,
Maybe harvest some blood since it might belong to a god. I mean,
as you're sort of dallying again, he just says, his voice just like racked in pain. He says, "Time is short."
yeah, I'm with the
Yeah, I think we should.
representation of God here. I think we should
All right.
get going. I think we should.
I'm spooked. I want to get out of here.
fundamental lack of curiosity.
Vauna is not
I'm getting
entirely
going.
clear on what's going on, so she's just like, "Do you need hospital?"
He just ignores you. He doesn't really respond.
We don't have time, guys. We need to get going.
Hey, sorry, weird
all right,
man, but we
okay.
gotta go.
It's
So
good
it's
to see that you're also respectful of him.
Official that this kid is officially a exorcism job.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys can stay around if you want, but I was just told that time is short. I'm heading.
I want to try something. I want to try to pick him up.
I knew this was
Oh my
coming.
God.
I knew you were going to say that. Oh,
Make an athletics check.
why not take God with you? Why not take God?
Yeah, he's sort of standing there awkwardly, and you reach down, and as soon as you like put your arms around him to lift him, you're like pressing against like all these open wounds and stuff, and he just like lets out this like howl of anguish. He's like racked with
Okay.
he's like racked with pain.
Okay, now I'm sorry. Very sorry.
I mean, that's sort of his thing. Don't feel too bad.
He's just sort of into it. No, but yeah, I mean,
I don't think into it, but it is his thing.
I take a kerchief out of my sleeve and I dab a little bit of blood in it because I want to get the bottom of this at the temple.
Oh, I thought you were
crazy
like
man blood, or is this God blood? And if it's God blood, how much do you want for it? So,
I don't know if like this is actually God has come down, or if this is just how God is communicating to me.
well, we don't know. So
It's
you
very
know,
true.
maybe I've got God blood. You all are going to be feeling very foolish when we
What's
get
the
to
going
temple
rate on
with
God blood?
Yeah, and he just sort of goes back to standing there, and he sort of says, like in a like almost defeated voice, he says, "Please go."
I've already gone.
You know what?
Yeah, I think I'm
You got
also
it.
sleeping.
I'm just gonna tell him as we're walking away, like, if you had never shown up in the first place, this would have been so much faster. This is all you wanted. We were already doing it, and now we're just confused.
You start to walk down the road, and as Chadius comes up with this, clever remark to the visage of Ilmater, you turn around to say it, and all that's left is a pool of blood in the middle of the road.
My point still stands, and he heard me.
Is it
If
like-
he's God, he heard me.
He heard me.
Is there anywhere that like
Who knows?
is it like does it seem like obvious that he just vanished or like ran off somewhere? I just want to know
We
if
turn
like
around and he's just like
yeah, he's like hiding
He's
behind
like
a tree.
crawling through the long
Prancing.
grass.
If he's
You
trying
guys,
to
help me out here. Help me out a little bit, okay? This is like a cooperative thing, and I'm trying to, add a little mystique to the story, okay? A little. Like, I pick him up.
I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. Like, you dropped this thing here. I'm not like gonna automatically believe that it's like a god.
Okay. We good here? Anything else with the empty road and the small
Empty
puddle of
road
blood?
nope.
I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, yeah, Ayumi, you are, shook to your core. You've never seen, much less a physical representation. You've never had anything nearly, any kind of interaction nearly so
I got my
intimate
dagger
and close.
I ready my dagger, so if I see a beast, I'll use it.
Yeah, as you guys head back toward Harlow, you do pass a couple of people that are like leaving the city with carts and stuff, just regular travelers. And eventually you arrive back in the roadfolk encampment. And it's easy enough. If you guys want to go straight there, you can easily find your way back to Nathier's wagon, which is
let's see if we can find a shop first.
Yeah.
Maybe get some. Here's some stories.
try to
We have some god
Let's get
blood
drunk
here.
first.
Hey, what's the going rate on God blood? Yeah, and it's easy enough to find, Nathier's decorative wagon steaming. It's no longer raining, but the wet roof of the wagon is just like basically billowing steam from the heat inside.
Is it the priest dude? I can't remember his name. But
Alar.
Alar. Is
Yeah.
he still here?
Yep, he is.
I'm gonna ask him real quick. How is it? How bad has it gotten?
Okay, yeah, he seems extremely relieved to see you, and he says that not much has changed with the boy. He's still unconscious, and obviously the heat is still insane. And he's he also mentions that Nathier has been like people have been coming and going at like kind of a high rate, and he says that Nathier's been like working on something. But he says that he has not been spending much time inside. He just saw the boy.
Anyways, I'm going to we have the moss. I don't know exactly how this is administered or used, but
I
you
think
know
you
more
need to
about it.
stab the kid with the knife, then put the moss inside the stab wound.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna hold off on jumping to that
I just realized we have this balm that's good for fire resistance.
Oh yeah, I hadn't even thought about that.
We want
We
to.
do have a ball.
I think we should save some for the kid. Might help him more than it'll help us.
Well, he is the source of the fire, though. It's not. I mean, like I don't.
I think technically, if you were to put it on the outside, it would just be like making him into an oven, right? Like,
Yeah, we'll just kind of
Yeah, good point.
redirect all the
Just
heat.
insulate him. Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna see if you can help me with this moss and taking care of this kid. I'm gonna step inside the wagon.
Okay, yeah. Who all's going into the wagon?
I want to go in.
Okay.
I'm curious.
It's gonna be real steamy.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out
Yeah,
by the door.
Yeah, I'll stay
Okay.
outside with Basil. Us cold boys need to.
Cold boys don't like the
Frosty.
heat, baby.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the two of you stay outside, and Alar is also out there, and he starts making just sort of nervous, talk with you about what you've been doing, and he says, "It's been nearly a day and a half. What happened out there?"
Oh, didn't we take a long rest or something like that?
We took
Sorry,
one
man.
long rest while we were there, and then we took a short rest on the way back at the end of the last
Okay.
session.
Yeah, because I was going to die.
Yeah, let's harp in on that part of it then.
Is Natia here?
She's inside, and you and Basil are outside with Alar.
Well, I asked him to go into some more detail about like what kind of was it suspect kind of behavior? Whatever Natia is doing.
Yeah, he says she's been having couriers bring ingredients, reagents. I don't know what she's doing. I'm not much in the way of alchemy, but something complicated.
Very shady.
Yeah, as the rest of you go inside, Nathia's in there, and she's like bent over. She's got her back turned to you. She's like bent over this like small workbench, and you can see that she's got like, some kind of like vials and decanters, and like this like alchemy setup going on in the back at this workbench. And she's like tinkering away on something. You hear like glass, pinging against glass, and she actually doesn't even like seem to notice you guys coming in.
I'm going to announce we're back and we have the moss.
Okay, yeah, she sort of like, like jumps up and she says, "Oh, thank God!" She says, "It's about time. This took so long." And she seems like really frazzled at this point.
Yeah,
And
we had the long rest.
wow,
I almost died.
We came as quickly as we could.
Okay, well, yeah. So she takes what she's doing. She says, "Well, perhaps it's better that you did because I've only just finished this." And she takes like this, like a small like stone bowl with a lip on it, and she like starts to pour the contents into this like glass vial. And as it comes out, it's like the consistency of like oatmeal, but it's
Milk
white
meal.
and it's like almost iridescent, and the light, like candle light and stuff, like bounces off of it in like crazy angles and stuff. And she pours it into a vial and sets it aside. And then she says, "Can one of you help me with the moss? Who's got the moss?"
Who does have the moss?
I
think
thought
Chad
you
did.
I have the moss, I think.
Daddy has
no.
initially retrieved it, so I imagine that.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
As you like go to reach for it, she says, "Bring it over here, boy, and put it in this bowl and start grinding." And she sort of like
Not
immediately,
if you talk to me like that, I'm not. Get your own damn moss. I swung death-defying leaps off of a goddamn waterfall for this moss. Thank you very much.
"There'll be time for fish stories later. Just start." And and she basically just like puts you to work starting in on like grinding this moss and like processing it down. And as you're doing so, she takes a minute and she turns to the other two, and she says, "This is something quite special indeed." And as she lifts it up, you see that like on her workbench, there's like a like this perfect like glass sphere that's been like cracked in half and is like sort of oozing in parts of the table. And it's pretty obvious that she's used whatever the substance was inside of this like to concoct whatever she's like handing to you. And she says this may help you reach the boy. But
what is it?
She says there's only enough for two.
But what's in this thing? No offense.
Let's start with the basics.
So you have the best intentions in mind, but what is this?
It doesn't have a name.
Oh, that's reassuring. Well, how about a description? Does it have one of those?
I haven't had time to test it, but I believe that this will take you into the boy's soul.
Okay,
and
into the boy's soul.
Whoa.
And maybe put you on even footing with whatever is pulling at him.
That sounds hardcore.
That's a hardcore substance you have there.
She says, "Yes, I haven't done anything quite this beautiful since I was a much younger woman."
Who wants to go into a child's soul to kill a demon with me?
Yo.
Wait, so is the moss part of this?
So Chatty is grinding the moss, and she hands you this like vial, and as you like hold it in your hand, I mean, you can like as you like inspect it further, you can see that there's like ground up glass in it. I mean, it's like it looks gnarly. Like you wouldn't want to chew it. And she like kind of thrusts it into your arms, and she turns back around to supervise Chadius in grinding this moss up, which he's done, pretty well at this point. They make kind of a poultice out of it, the two of them. Chadius, give me a roll on medicine.
Yikes. Oh, wait.
I like this crafty side of Chadius you're all seeing here. Making a poultice with an old lady.
I mean, it's not like we have anyone.
You sound like someone that doesn't want me to finish this.
Okay, so yeah, over the next few minutes, you take this moss, and as you're breaking it up, you're sort of over it, and you're like working it into this like with this big mortar and pestle, and these like vapors and maybe like even spore are like starting to like get up into your nostrils and stuff, and basically your entire face just goes totally numb. It's like you've been pumped full of Novocaine. Like over time, it just becomes like you're like slurring your speech, and it feels like your tongue is swollen and stuff. But eventually you get it like kind of down and worked into this poultice, and she hands it back to you, and she says, "Rub it all over the boy."
Me?
Yeah, she hands it.
It rubs the poultice on the boy.
Rub the boy now.
I dab at the boy with the poultice. I feel like you have the wrong party member here, and I'm just.
She's like from behind you. She's like getting really cranky with you, and she said,
"Oh, I'm sure."
Yeah. She says, "Don't be shy. There are lives in the balance."
Nice to me, that.
Poultice on.
Yeah, as you're like rubbing it on, at first it feels almost like kind of the sensation of like Tiger Balm, and your hands start to go quite numb from this, and you notice that your hand and the skin on your hands is like starting to crack and become quite red and blistered as you go. Like you don't really feel it, but you can tell that you're starting to sustain burns on your hands as you like.
Why am I doing this?
Why are you not putting the balm on?
Balm oil. Someone give me that fucking
Here,
oil.
I'll throw in one of my things.
If I'm gonna be doing this, someone needs to back me up here. This woman's being an asshole. My hand is on fire.
I throw in one of my bombs at you.
You just worry about rubbing, okay?
I
And we're gonna get-
I take my time rubbing the bomb on my own goddamn hands, and then I continue to gingerly add the poultice to this boy.
Okay.
He warned me about this shit.
As it goes on, he does relax a little bit, and he's had his like hands clenched on his chest this whole time. And as the poultice goes on, you can tell that there is some relief, and his hands loosen, and as they do, you can see that he's clutching something in his hands.
Look at what's in his hands.
Yeah, as you pull it out, you can see that he's got in his hands like a stone, like a cylinder made of stone with a like piece of cork jammed in the top of it, and on the side of it is this like weird glyph you don't really you don't understand.
I grab it unthinkingly and I take a look.
Yeah, it's just like a stone vial with a cork in it.
I want to see what's inside.
Yeah, you pull it off. You pull the cork off, and it's empty. And then you sort of like tip it up, and like a single bead of this like milky white substance comes out and like drips on the floor of the caravan, where it like starts to smolder on the.
Sorry, guys.
Is that milk of the Nefalshni? It's milky.
As you say that, Nathier like spins around back to you and to it, and she like knocks the stone vial out of your hand, and she says, "Impossible! How would such an innocent come across something like this? Says time is shorter than I thought. It's a miracle he's alive at all." She says, "It's time to go," and she looks at you, Ayumi, and
we're gonna drink this like platinum oatmeal and like go inside the soul.
Shots. It sounds sick. You want to join? Too bad you can't. Only room for 2. Yep.
Yeah, it's the child soul. It's not as larger. It can only fit 2 people.
Yeah.
I'm drinking it. I'm down in this stuff.
This is going down. I turn to Alar, yeah. And I sort of relay what happened to us on the road with the visage of Mater, just to like be like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, I should mention before I go in, I tell Chadius, I guess, since they're the only other one in here, that if we don't come out, they're going to have to do something because the demon probably killed us.
I'll do what needs to be done.
Yeah, Chadius, if I die in there, make sure my funeral doesn't suck ass.
Oh shit, I forgot you were going. Bye, sis.
Yeah.
I will
mom and dad aren't invited.
dutifully inherit the other half of our parents' fortune for you.
Yeah, make sure mom and dad don't come to the funeral. They'll lame it up.
Right?
Wow.
God, I'm going to get you something cool.
Yeah, thank you.
See, we like each other. It's fine.
Yeah, we get along in our own weird way.
So, yeah, as this is happening, as you guys are sort of outside talking with Alar, like a group of like road folk have like started to gather around the wagon. And, it's obvious that like, things are escalating. Like you guys have come back. There's something going on here. And there are like, obviously like looks of fear on people's faces. And especially there are some like children that are quite afraid and like kind of like pulling at their, at the clothing of the adults and stuff. And they seem, generally sort of terrified.
I really want to see Valna try to calm little children.
I'm trying to think if I would.
That would be really
what
beautiful.
I probably wouldn't. I say I probably nudge Basil and be like,
Basil,
calm them down. I'm Goliath.
But I like the idea of Basil just being like very like dislocated from the situation and like doing little ice tricks that no one seems to be comforted by or distracted by. Like continuing to like dun, 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 and like not helping the situation at all, but not noticing or caring.
Roll a performance check for me.
You're in trouble.
Ooh,
Very
that roll.
nice.
As you're doing it for nobody in particular, like a small like girl kind of walks up to you and she's got like beads in her hair and she's like really she just looks like a fancy little girl, but she's got like all these silks and she's like very colorful. And as you're doing it, she starts to like mimic what you're doing with her own like little bits of magic. It's not like quite as refined, but she's like kind of making these little things. And she sort of like starts to giggle at you and like trying to like duplicate what you do in like a very childish way.
I love it, but as Basil, not entertained.
Rana gives a hearty laugh and is like, that child as talented as you.
As you're doing that, Scott, some more kids start to like gather around, and it seems like they're at least a little bit distracted by the two of you having like a little magic off. So back in the wagon, what are you guys doing?
I'm down in it.
Yeah, me too. I'm chugging it. I'm treating it as if this were like a shot of tequila.
Okay, well, let me get a constitution check from each of you as you take a pull on this vial.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so yeah, as you guys take this, it like hits your mouth and it is like ice cold, and yeah, it's just like chunks of glass. And as it starts to go down your throat, Ayumi, I mean, it's very uncomfortable for both of you, but Ayumi especially, you can, as you are trying to like choke this down, you start to taste like blood coming back up your throat and stuff, and it's like very, very uncomfortable. But as soon as you take it, you start to see that basically as soon as this goes down your throat, the kid starts to like glow with this like white and red, like shimmering like an aurora kind of, and he's like pulsating and glowing like really fiercely with this kind of aura. And the rest of the world, the rest of the inside of the caravan starts to like darken down, and the kid just grows brighter.
Yikes.
I'm gonna touch the kid. Lay my hand on it. See what that does.
Okay.
That's going to be a double yikes for me.
What are you gonna do, Virginia?
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Okay. Yeah.
What if we do like a little circle where we each grab each other's hands?
Do a really heartfelt,
Yeah.
we'll sing Kumbaya, Yeah.
Yeah. Has anyone tried singing Kumbaya yet?
Yeah.
We don't know that it doesn't work.
Yeah. So as you guys lay your hands on the kid, Ayumi, this feeling for you is familiar, but Virginia, for the first time, you feel that as you touch him, it feels as if your hand is reaching in to sort of a void where it eventually comes up against some kind of membrane. And as it does, you can feel that it like sort of pushes back, and you can feel that there is like you just get this overwhelming sense of danger and violence in here. You have sort of the clarity to think that like I've never thought this clearly before. You're just being like super conscious right now. And as both of you are there and you feel this sort of like membrane pushing up against you, you start to hear from down in this hole, this like voice start to come up, and it's just totally incoherent. This like grunting and like slavering voice, just this, and the pushing against the membrane starts to like vibrate a bit more, and as you sort of push back, you sort of like dent in on this, and then it just like gives way. And as you do, the pressure you guys have been exuding into this child, you just like both tumble forward. And Chadius, you see the two of them sort of chug this potion and approach this kid, and they put their hands on it, and about 10 seconds later, they both just fall unconscious to the ground. Their bodies just go limp on the floor of the caravan.
Man, she just got a super high, didn't she?
And
good shit.
And Nathia just starts cackling maniacally.
Wait, who else?
I'm just kidding. No, Nathia like gasps, and under her breath she says, "I think it's working, child." So yeah, the two of you kind of feel yourself like fall, like lurch suddenly, as if you've fallen into a well. And as you go tumbling, you can hear this strange, like guttural voice grow in intensity, before eventually you feel your bodies slam into like a stone surface, and you are still conscious. You're totally fine. You guys have like this real set, like, it's hard to describe being like hyper alert, but you guys are like, you're both feeling, high in your alertness. You just feel like your senses are wide open in here, wherever here is.
Whoa.
So I want...
Dang.
Come on.
Oh, dang. We should have had Chadius be here.
Are you sure
He
you
could
can...
talk some sense into the demon.
As you two sort of like slam into the stone floor of this chamber.
Also, I had questions throughout this whole process.
Okay.
So all this shit's going down. What are me and Valna up to?
You're doing magic tricks with a little girl, and Valna's chilling with Alar.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I didn't imagine we would know anything happened unless Chadius came out and said something. Or
Well, like I imagine them getting slammed against whatever.
No, their bodies right now are slumped to the floor of the caravan, and Chadius is in there with them, but they're just like laying unconscious on the floor of the caravan. But really, their consciousness is now in this room.
I'm just like slapping my sister, trying to get her to wake up.
wake up!
Yeah, just like full.
I put the handkerchief with the blood of God on her forehead, and I'm like, is this how it works?
Is this religion?
Yes.
Okay. But isn't it nice to know I'm at least trying to help while you're in another plane and collapsed?
Hell yeah. I'm going to get a spirit bomb because of that.
Probably.
There's no response. Okay, so I'll set the scene here a little bit. So the two of you land in this chamber against like cold stone, and both of you are completely nude.
Oh, cool.
Oh shit.
And in front of you is this like horrible creature. It's basically got, you can see the token, but it's, basically the body of an ape. It's got hooves. It's got these like small, sort of worthless looking wings on its back, and its back is turned to you, and it's like up against this altar, and its feet are like surrounded by like corpses and general kind of gore. And the voice that you've been hearing you can tell it's coming from this creature, and it's just like quite loud, and it actually doesn't even seem to notice that you've landed in the room. Ayumi, as you stand up, you see that you sort of stand up. You felt no pain from the fall, but you feel this like horrible pain in your hand, and you look down, and you're like grasping the blade of a dagger that's got 2 blades instead of a blade and a handle. And you've got one of them, and it's just like you're just gripping it like really tight, and there's blood just like running down your arm, and it's like wrapped around with this like red cord.
Oh, my god, it's so fucking metal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, man.
Use the blade.
Jealous.
Now's the
I need to
time.
get in on that.
I'm assuming this is the only thing we have between the two of us. We didn't like
Yeah,
make
do
no
I,
weapons.
do I have
nothing.
like do I have a blade with a handle on both sides?
Yes.
with all powers combined?
And we both break it in
You could
half.
just stick them together and make one just long dagger.
So as you're kind of making this realization and you look down at your hand, the creature in front of you like sort of just like makes this like jerking motion, and you hear like the scream of a child.
Oh
It's
shit.
like children.
And it's just like doing something on this altar, and it just sort of like continues its work, and it's like muttering to itself.
Back me up here, and now I'm just gonna full on charge it with the knife. I mean, I was
You're
so
just-
used
you're
to
just going
dagger.
for it?
I'm fucking using the dagger. The thing is going
Okay,
down.
I mean, all right, we're just going for it? I don't know what the
Yeah,
plan
I'm just
is.
going for it. I'm just
Okay.
bum rushing this dude.
Make an athletics check as you run toward it. Yeah, as you run toward this creature, it like at the very last second like spins on you with like incredible speed. It just like spins around and just like backhands you. Does a 16 hit you when you're naked?
Yes, when I am naked, a 16 definitely hits me.
Yeah, take 8 points of damage, and you get like slammed into this wall. It just like spins and backhands you and slams you out of the way. And as you go like tumbling to the floor, it says, it's like kind of like nonsensical voice like comes together in your minds, and it says, "The gate will be open." And he like turns back to what he's doing.
Really, you think just hitting me once is gonna stop this? Come on, man.
I want to get a good look at what he's working on, like what this is.
Okay, yeah. While he like kind of spun around and did that, yeah, you saw that there's like the frame of like a small person there, like a teenager or something. There's like a boy there, and he's like, yeah, basically just like currently engulfed in flames.
Okay. And he's like chained to the table, or because that's what
It's got-
the picture's inferring. But
Yeah, there are like, I mean, yeah, there's chains on the image, but it didn't look like it was like chained down. But the person, whoever's there, is like not struggling.
Okay. Yo, Ayumi, I think what we got to do
Thanks, Scott.
is here. Ah, shoot! I wish I had my lighter.
I think
You
I just have
distract
matches.
You distract the guy, and I'm gonna see if
Damn
I
it.
can get the child like out of here. I don't know where out of here would be, but I can at least try to, help him, and maybe we can figure out what to do from there.
It's probably a better idea than trying to stop punching the dude for you. So yeah.
Yeah, and if that doesn't work, we'll just both punch the dude. If I can't figure out anything with the kid.
First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use 4 hit points of lay on hands so that I don't die in my next hit. So that, hopefully, though I probably will
Okay.
anyways. Fingers crossed. And
oh boy!
I'm gonna.
Hey, do you want me to distract the guy and then you
Yep.
go for the
What do you want
child?
to do? Yeah, what do you want to do, Virginia?
I want one of us to get the guy and one of us to look for the child.
I think you should help the child because I have a dagger bound to my hand
Oh, it's bound to your
And-
hand. That's right.
and a divine order to use it. So
oh, fair
I'm
enough.
all in on this dagger plan.
All right, listen. You don't need to necessarily like fight the guy. You just need to like distract him while I try to get the kid. You know? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go.
I can try.
I'm gonna go up to the table and just try moving the kid. Just fucking with shit.
Okay. Yeah. As
with
you
the ritual.
Yeah.
as you sort of like get
it.
in proximity and start to pass this guy, he reaches out. Make an athletics check.
Ooh, I think I'm actually good at athletics.
You gotta be good at something. You're not good at nature.
Good at shooting shit at a distance.
Wow, rude.
Yeah, as you're sort of like running past, he just like reaches out with one hand and like grabs you around like the collar of your neck and like pulls you up close and says the gate will be open.
I mean,
The
you must have
bridge is
attacked
ours.
me.
Okay, do you want to go?
Charge!
Do you want to attack him while his back's
Oh
turned?
yeah.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
Make an
Not
attack,
above
attack
stabbing
roll.
someone in the back. Do this. Please be good, Daggle. I don't have a good plus to you. 11.
Oh boy.
11 hits.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
I mean, he's
That's
like huge and
really nice.
unarmored.
I don't know what the damage size is for this. Is it a regular dagger?
Yeah, it's a regular dagger.
Got it. Just a
Damn.
little pointy. 1 damage. Hell yeah.
Yeah, as the dagger sort of like slides into this thing's like the kind of fat on its back and through its fur, you can feel it like the dagger starts to like pull at your sort of like divine sense, and it's just like trying to draw something out of you.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, what is a divine smite except for drawing a little bit of power out of me to kill something? I mean,
Do you have any smites?
I do not have any smites.
Oh,
no. I am out of everything at this point, pretty much. So
How?
I would love to smite it.
Oh yeah, we did that big ass.
Short rests don't do squat for paladins. Sure.
We might be boned.
Might be
Well,
owned.
actually, you feel that in this state, the dagger is amplifying your divinity somehow. So actually, do go ahead and roll a smite for me.
I will gladly take a free smite heal. Roll them 2d8 to see what I get.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you also take 9 damage.
Oh,
Got it.
And so as you go to do this, the dagger bites into your hand and it draws from your blood in this place. And as you stab it into the back of this guy and let off this smite, this like pulse of light goes into its body and it like thrashes and it throws Virginia against the wall. And it just like wails and spins and lets out this like no, and it's like flipping out. And then you guys see the body on the table start to like quiver and the flames like sputter and go out. And all of a sudden you feel yourselves like as if you'd been like shot out of a cannon, just like spun back up and out of this place and back into your bodies laying on the floor of the caravan.
oh, damn, that was easy. Mission
Easy
accomplished.
peasy. I am looking perfectly healthy. There was certainly nothing close to wrong with me.
Wait, so they didn't kill it? They didn't kill it? Or did they?
I don't know. I mean, I know, but you don't know.
The kid was
I
extinguished.
was gonna say, if
That's
you don't
a good
know,
sign.
that's...
You know, you definitely like it seems to have like broken off what it was trying to do there. And Ayumi, as you sort of come back to consciousness, and Virginia, you're both like retching horribly. You feel just like awful, and you're like your bodies just feel incredibly taxed. And Ayumi, you have this like deep and wide scar across the inside of your hand. It's fully healed, but it's just like this massive, tight, fleshy scar across the inside of your hand. And
Pretty badass.
Yeah,
that's fucking sweet. Yeah. I need to get on that Ilmater game. He's got some real cool symbolism and shit.
I can get that.
How's the kid looking?
yeah, so the kid, the bomb was already helping, the kid come down, but he's like completely sedated. And as the like effects of this potion are still on you guys, you can see that this like, aura around him, this like heat around him is starting to like pull back a little bit. But he's totally unconscious. And as you come back to consciousness, Nathie lets out this like, this gasp, and she says, "What happened? Where did you go?"
Some sort of room. There was a giant demon there. We fought it, and I'm not sure exactly what happened. After I stabbed it, we wound up back here. It seemed to have relinquished some control.
It was totally sick. There was like this big demon, and we like stabbed it, and we were both naked for some reason. I don't know why, but like, and it said something about opening a gate. I think we might have saved the kid. He's either dead or we saved him.
I saved one lay on hands, and I'm gonna use that on the kid.
Okay.
Right, my last hit point of lay on hands, which I must have used the exact right amount because I have 1 HP.
Wow. Woo. Okay. Yeah. You sort of like stumble to your feet and put your last bit of energy into the kid, and his breathing has slowed. It's not quite normal, and he's still very hot to the touch, but already there seems to be a difference in the way that his physical body is responding. So
are we under the impression that he's been expunged of this thing, or from our perspective, is that what it looks like?
From the perspective of Ayumi and Virginia, you saw this like flash of light go into the body of that thing, and it seemed to like extinguish the flames on the kid, and then it somehow severed your tether to that place.
I'm going to recommend that. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna check back in a few days, see how the kid's doing, make sure there's no demon coming back.
Yeah, Nathie like takes you in her arms and like gives you this like huge hug, and she's like you don't know what you've done here. It's incredible. And then she like slowly makes her like old womanly way out to the back of the caravan where there's like kind of a little step there, and all the road folk are there, and she's like explaining to them and sort of like expressing this deep gratitude to you guys, and just like if what you say is true, she says, if what you say is true, then what you've done here is much more than just save the child. Whatever it was that you saw there, we need to protect this place from it. And they're all just like sort of to themselves, they're all just like talking amongst themselves, and like there's like some confusion but also some relief.
Is there a back door to this place? I feel like getting out of here, man. I'm tired. I don't need this. I don't need.
You guys have like been through some real ass shit.
I just
cool.
I want
to. Everything's good.
I will clear a path for you.
I want a chat special right now.
I step out with a flourish like this. Like the conquering heroes. Hey, I burned my hand for this child, and I took a lot of verbal abuse from that woman, so I count. I just parade on out of that caravan, and you can follow me or not, but if you don't, I'm going to take credit for all of it.
You can take credit for all of it. I just want to sleep.
Vauna kind of like is just like clear, doing like some crowd control and just like making a way for us to get through or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. As you guys are kind of clearing out, you see like some guards, some like Harlow town guards have also like sort of gathered in the like periphery. They're not like, intervening in any way, but they're just like observing like whatever's got the like road folk worked up. And as you kind of pull away, Chadius, and you're like strutting, there's sort of a moment where you're like, maybe walking sort of alone in between some tents that are being set up like in preparation for the festival here. And there's all these caravans and tents and stuff. And you sort of like walk off the beaten path a little bit, and like this kind of tallish, like slender man with his hood up steps out from the shadows and says, "Chadius, isn't it? Do you have a moment?"
Yes, it is.
Yes, I'm the hero.
He says, he like pulls his hood off, and extremely rare here, but you've seen tieflings in your time, but they're like exceedingly rare around here. And this man has like deep purple skin, and he's like tattooed like all the way up his face and around, and his horns kind of wrap behind his ear, and he's like all these like piercings and this like gold jewelry and stuff. He says, "We've not met, but my name is Peerless Rao."
Peerless Rao.
Chadius is in love. Chadius wants to be exactly like this man.
I believe you've just found something that I've been looking for.
I hold up the bloody napkin again.
Says,
"What are you talking about? I mean, I think it maybe already was used on my sister, but I don't know how this works."
He says, "No, not that." He says, "Whatever the boy found." Let's not be coy.
Oh, I mean, that woman took it. The woman got mad about it.
Yeah, she like knocked it out of your hand.
Yeah. I don't. What was it? I don't have it anymore.
Are we all here with you right now, or are we all together right now?
I think it's just me, but I'm not sure. Or
Yeah, it's just a one-on-one. But you get the sense that he like followed you until he could catch you alone for a second. He says, "Listen, do you know what this symbol is?" And he like pulls his sleeve up a bit, and tattooed on his dark skin, you can still make out like this really well tattooed harp on the inside of his forearm. And you recognize it as like, as you've been like acquainted with Olmo and his gang, they've, as they've sort of like initiated you in at certain times, they've shown you like the thieves' cant, which is, the like language of thieves. And, regionally it sort of changes, but in this region, the thieves' cant is these like symbolic tattoos that people bear. And this particular tattoo of the harp is for like kind of a subsect of these like benevolent rogues that call themselves harpers. And they're sort of like operatives that Olmo and his gang are at odds with. They like hate each other. But he has no problem showing you the tattoo, and he says, "I assure you that I'm looking out for the greater good here. I believe that you've just found the milk of the Nalfashni, and I've been following it for some time. Somebody's smuggling it in, and I think that you can help me find out who. Just food for thought. Come see me at the Zenruki. I'll look forward to it." And he like slips off into the darkness again.
Well, all right then. Side quest.
The Zamboni?
The Zamboni.
The Sandusky?
Make a note in my notebook for a new tattoo to get. Concept of faction's not sort of lost on me. I just want to belong.
Yeah.
And I go back to group.
Do you tell the rest of us what just happened? or
Chadius is going to wait until the next time someone asks what he's doing to share this information. He doesn't think it's that important. You'll ask eventually, and I'll let you know.
Okay, well, what's the general plan here?
well,
I want
Ayumi
to
needs
find.
those good heals, right?
Well, I don't need heals. I'm fine. We need to. I want to find this wizard dude because he's the only lead we have for the blood. I mean the milk, not blood, milk. So, did we ever get his name? We have his name, right?
Yeah, it's Cadle Brass.
Yep.
I mean,
yeah.
or we can just go to the inn and talk to the nice demon man that I just talked to. I'm gonna go.
Oh, so you were just waiting for that right now to tell us.
Wait.
Wasn't hiding
Man?
anything from
Sorry,
you.
what?
Maybe that was Cadle Brass.
Oh shit. Who
No.
knows? Did you get his name? No, wait, you did get his name.
People can't lie about their names, so
It's against
Yeah.
the
That's
law.
a fact. It's like cops. You can ask them if they're going undercover.
it's in
and
the
they have to tell the truth.
Constitution.
It's in the Constitution. bro.
It would be entrapment otherwise.
Yeah.
But yes, at this point, I recount what I remember of my interaction with the fellow,
Nick,
minus
did-
the tattoo part.
Did he?
I don't share the
You-
tattoo part.
You don't want
Did
us
you get a
stealing
name?
your idea.
Well, that, and you know what? I want to get in good with these guys. I can't be blabbing my mouth until I have a tattoo myself. I'm making sure everyone.
Yeah, his name was Peerless Rao.
Oh, right, Peerless.
Thank you.
Peerless Rao.
Peerless.
That's a cool name.
The name was easy to forget because it was so common.
I'm
Yeah, I like the idea of meeting your weird demon friend. I mean, can we go, or did he say the just you?
I think it would probably be prudent if just I went, and then
What if we're sitting at like the next
That's-
table over?
That's actually Chaddy's middle name is Prudence.
Yeah, there you go.
nobody was supposed to know that. Now I'm just feeling embarrassed. How dare you?
Realistically, we'd probably want to like chill after having been on the go for like several days now, trying to fucking help this kid.
Yeah,
I would
I
think
mean,
that
I'm totally
some Chad
down. If
specials. Some Chad
you guys want
specials.
to come
are-
up with some downtime activities, totally
I
down.
really wanted to buy some studded leather armor because I don't know why I only bought regular leather armor at the time.
I think I will also use the time if we go to the Zendusky, the Haruki. If we do end up doing that, I'm going to try and talk with, see if Zora, the Free Wind Company, is there.
Okay, and that place is also sort of the unofficial headquarters of the Hunters Guilds. Yeah, and also get all of your level 3 stuff ready because we're very close to leveling up.
Yeah.
This was kind of the Ayumi level up episode. Not that you've leveled to 3 at this moment, just that like I want to start handling the level ups in sort of a meaningful way. Well, some of you have like a meaningful thing that happens at 3.
After having a conversation with the tiefling, I do want to go try to get that bottle back.
Okay,
You want
smart.
the bottle back.
After that
I will maybe
conversation,
try
I
and-
was like, this might be important. And so I go back and use my thievy skills to try to get past everyone in a week.
Okay, as you sort of like go back to the caravan, the door is ajar, and Natha's like at her like work table, like sort of cleaning out, just like doing whatever, just cleaning up and shit. And the vial is like sitting on the countertop in like a very conspicuous place, and you don't see it. But as you creep up to take it, she actually like slyly looks over her shoulder and just like smiles to herself and keeps like cleaning up, almost as if she wanted you to have it.
Damn.
There you go. There's the post-credit scene that I
grab
wanted.
it, I take it, but I look at her and go, I'll take that. and I look into her eyes and I back out slowly, waiting for her expression to change or for her to say something.
Yeah, her back's turned to you. I mean, you can see her kind of chuckle a little bit, but yeah.
I go back to the party and I say, you know what? That lady's shady. I'm calling it now. That lady had something else going on, and I don't trust her a lick, but I have the vial.
I mean, she did just like whip together this like soul-entering juice. So like she clearly has some fucking skills.
I think that of all of Chatty's various suspicions, this is probably the most justified.
I'm going to say right now, though, anyone who has the boldness to put glass in their potions, like, man,
Drink it.
that's true. That's true art right there.
Yeah, and as far as the kid, you guys mentioned that you would give him a few days to recover, and that seems wise. But it also does seem wise to follow up.
Oh yeah, that kid's mom is shady. That kid is probably shady.
I'm not saying the kid is shady. I mean,
we don't know anything about the kid other than that.
Exactly. Children can be shady too. We don't know.
But
in fact,
also,
most children are shady.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Children
I just want to
sociopaths.
make sure the kid's doing all right. But also, while I'm there, I'm gonna ask him if he remembers where he got the vial from. See if we can't
His mother.
get some clues.
His mother.
Nathia's not his mom, I don't think.
No.
Yeah, no.
Doesn't mean his mom didn't hand him the vial of Nefalchny to wreak havoc on the town.
Yeah, make sure to jot down all of your wild conspiracy theories.
One or two will probably be right.